All systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, a.k.a. ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the Thursday Night Football Showdown show here on the Ship It Nation YouTube station. Make sure to hit that thumbs up on the way in. Subscribe to the channel for all of our free shows. Going to be breaking down all things Jets at the Patriots, and it's a good one for DFS. I know a lot of people are going to be complaining, and the games have been bad lately, and I've been complaining too, I won't lie, but we're going to break it down as usual. We've got captains, ton of wide receivers to talk about, at least 6 or 7 for each team over there. And I got Title and Hoopster here with me as always to break it all down. Title, I'm starting with you, coming off the big NBA night, 15K up in the FanDuel streets. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Appreciate when I go first, something had to have happened. So a little hit there, a lot of second places so far for the team. But hey, second place is better than some of the other numbers. Very top heavy. Can parlay that into hopefully a first or second place. I mean, I'll take second place. If it's a solo first and then a solo second on these showdown streets, I'll take that for sure. Second place behind 150 weight chop, maybe not so much. But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. On paper, like the game, it should be a blowout. One really good team, one really bad team. But for DFS, it doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, garbage time counts the same, and we could be seeing garbage time tonight.
Agreed. I should have made you go. I should have made you second as usual because you finished second last night. I was trying to give my boy a little love extra. Appreciate it. But yeah, I hear you. Hoopster, I'll bring you in, man. I got to close my door. I forgot. We were having multiple business meetings throughout the day. We got a lot of promotions coming up, and we got a nation communication coming up soon. And then we also have a bunch of giveaways today. We're going to be giving away the winner of the $555 ticket from the NFL promo, which we'll go through that. The promo is still on, just the offer for the free ticket is gone away. So thanks to everybody that took advantage of that offer. And then we also have Ship It Games winners, 33, 34? Yeah, 33, 34, and then 35. The emails were sent out on Tuesday, but Hoopster, I'll bring you in, man. You can do a little bit of an introduction while I go. Be right back.
All right. Well, I guess the nice thing about this game, it looks ugly, but like it would almost be impossible for this game to be uglier than what we witnessed on the showdown slates last week. Those 3 games were, I mean, amongst the worst I've watched all season long. I just wanted to pull it up. I mean, it was Denver, Vegas. That was awful, like absolutely awful. Like shut it off at halftime. Can't watch it. Chargers, Pitt. Awful. Green Bay, Philly. Like, which was the best of those 3 games? Would you guys say? Was it maybe Chargers, Pitt? Like, I don't know. Like in terms of like
points scored, it had to have been.
That was the worst for me. That game was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. They're all super
or maybe Packers, Philly, just because it was competitive between.
Yeah,
I guess 2.
But
teams.
it's always painful when you're watching a game and like neither offense can do like anything, like nothing, like just nothing at all, and. It pains me to watch these teams where Philly was like running the ball like 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 9 just because they knew that the Packers could not do anything on offense. Like they're just totally fine giving you the football back. Like that's got to be so demoralizing as a team when the other team is literally just giving you the football knowing that they're going to stop you on defense because your offense can't do anything. And this is why I hate. Like I know they're talking about the Packers guy giving up the play calling. Like that's why I hate when I watch these games and these teams open up with run. I think the Packers on that first drive ran it almost every single time, and they had some success moving down the field and didn't get anything out of it. And then that just sets the wrong tone for the offense. I hate when teams do that. Like if you're really good, maybe it works, but like when you open up a game just running the ball every single time, I just think you're doing a massive disservice. And it really killed, any momentum the offense had. They never got anything going. Just terrible play calling, just terrible. And I get it, Tucker Kraft and all that out, but come on, like you got to do something a little different. Their play calling was atrocious. In key spots, throwing to a guy that you switched positions, like he was a wide receiver, then switched him to cornerback. Then now you're throwing it to him when you need to move the ball. And Bo Melton, like how does like any of this stuff make sense? I don't get it.
I'm done telling you that with LaFleur. Rodgers and his IQ has made LaFleur and McCarthy a lot of money and a lot more years than they deserve.
100%. I mean, you're 100% accurate on that. And that's just like donkey stuff. And if you're a Packers fan, you definitely got to be a little bit worried. Like you got to be, pretty damn worried about what you saw there. Bad games. I guess back to the main point though. It can't be worse than what we witnessed last week. So maybe we get something exciting here. I mean, the problem is we got the Patriots, who look like one of the better teams in the NFL, going against the Jets, who look like one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they made some moves at the trade deadline to make their team even worse. It could be a blowout, but it's DFS. Got the same strategies. We got to talk through roster construction thoughts, and that's what we'll do here on the show today.
Couple things, Ted. I'll get your grand scheme overview. This is one thing that's coming up quite a bit. Andrews was probably his comment was talking about being optimal, and it's probably the most optimal comment. He says the 5-1 Patriots will be optimal. It's a matter of how you build it will determine the winner. I have severe thoughts against that. I don't have the record or the sample size, but I think it's like almost never a 5-1. And it just, when everyone thinks it's a 5-1, it's almost never, and it gets completely overowned, but we'll all have them. They fit into the thing. I just think if you're building that way, you want to leave some money on the table and get different that way. So I'm not disagreeing. I just say there's tons of other ways it can go, especially with Breece Hall, Fields, Mason Taylor. I know figuring out the wide receiver is going to be a disaster today, but that's what makes Showdown very, very fun. We think back to thinking about a good Steelers slate was the one where it was Jonnu, Freiermuth, and Darnell Washington all catching the touchdown. In the end, it was Freiermuth that pulled ahead, but it's like those all gave people opportunities to solo ship or very low end, low size chops where for big money, less people involved. And then there was one more that I was going to say. Oh yeah. Our guy Jordan, where's it at here? No, he said Hoops dragging his feet. No, we were talking a little bit of Survivor action before. We're big in the Survivor Street, so we always have our little round table before we hop on. But Newen said this. This is true. Do you see last game title that the Packers and the Eagles both got a ton of extra push? The double defense lineups were everywhere again because it's, people see what works. Just like last week on the main slate. Two tight ends all of a sudden are the most popular lineup ever because the week before it was, I think it was Loveland and McBride or whoever it was that week. You get what I mean? Where it just makes it even more popular than next. We're definitely seeing that. And people are going to think that for a game like this. So I think there is going to be a lot of Jets, Patriots love. What's your thoughts and grand scheme overview on this slate before we get into the captains?
Yeah, and I mean, the double D got there. You were joking about double kicker, double D to play it. Some missed field goes there, but the double D was on the winner. I don't know if it was lunch money that solo ship 500, but
yeah.
I mean, what a sweat he had to deal with. Sirianni, first of all, the biggest donkey. I mean, it's not going to be talked about because they won, but I couldn't imagine going for that. I truly don't even know what was going through his head. They have no timeouts. Punting takes 8-9 seconds off the clock. Field position, Matt. It was one of the more bizarre things I've ever watched. So as bad as LaFleur is, and he is bad, Sirianni is not very good himself either. That was a really, really poorly played game and coach game by him. So that was horrendous. But it made him really sweat because McManus makes that, passes Packers D, OT, and all of his money goes down. So
I saw you got it. I just will interject for 2 seconds. Funniest thing, because we do the takedown breakdown on Mondays, and Eric is his name, Need Lunch Money. He's actually an awesome dude. I met him before at one of the NFL Live finals, and he had 9 seats or something. He brought his whole family, grandparents. It was really cool. I thought that's the way to do it if you're going to do it. But he actually had a crazy sweat in the 555 milli on Sunday, and he didn't get there, but his team was like the nut team that you would have thought got there. Crazy just how the deal for every player. It doesn't matter your level, your skill, whatever. He missed a big sweat on Sunday, bounces right back and gets the job done for $500K, unique shipper up top. I just love to see stuff like that. I don't care who it is. That's the love of the game, but that was really cool that you saw that. And it was like, I was following the sweat as well, just for somebody else completely, but it's hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. Really good for him. And I mean, people might see that's definitely a pro. I mean, probably not the case, but FJ Bourne has always opened my eyes about the downswings to see a 500K win and then get to break even that 500K does or whatever that is. Way smaller scale, but second, third place with how top heavy this stuff is. There's a lot of volume people play in DFS. So congrats to him for 500K. You never know how their seasons are going, even when you win that big. But yeah, I mean, 5-1s will be as popular as we've probably seen all Showdown slate. 4-2 Patriots as well. You play a 3-3 build, that'll be different. Any more, you play in 4 Jets or 5 Jets, I don't know what you're doing playing 5 Jets, 4 Jets. Seems a little extreme, but yeah, you touched on the wide receiver room. The unknowns for the Jets side is I think what makes the slate so great. They're all very cheap, so we have value on this slate, unlike on Monday when we talked about. And we really just don't know the roles that, like, there is no Garrett Wilson, Tyler Johnson, Isaiah Williams. Is Alan Lazard going to be active? Who knows? They just got a Donnie Mitchell last week, but it's still a short week this week. He didn't play last week because of the playbook. How much is he going to play? They have John Mechie, Arian Smith. Like, there's just a handful of guys down there. I think that's the key on this slate is, like, I'm going to be playing Travion, Drake May, the normal guys that we think are good plays on the Patriots side. But the wide receiver room on the Jets is a way you can get different, because I'm looking at ownership. We have 11%, 10%, 6, 3, 2. I mean, looking at that, I want to go into and embrace the unknowns in that Jets receiving room, because they're all cheap. They should be slinging it if they're down 2 touchdowns, and easy to leave money on the table when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at today when we go through it all. And Hoop, I'll go to you in a second. But some stuff, Kyle Williams, birthday narrative. I looked it up, so that is accurate. He's turning 23. Wow, young gunner. He got in the box last week too. Touchdown for him. Nades was looking it up and seeing roughly, currently 30% New England 5-1 builds. Hoop, you got to check your DMs. A little 6-7 Xmas wrapping paper for your kids.
I'm gonna check that out, but man, the 6-7 thing is, man,
painful.
So painful, man. So painful. Like, it's got to, hopefully it dies out soon. Hopefully something pops up around the holidays that they get onto over the 6-7 thing. It's like, it's almost like, we as kids, like we always had some dumb shit, but this is like just the dumbest of dumb, like so dumb, like nothing behind, just so stupid.
Well, the worst of it is again, I don't know how I get sucked into these rabbit holes. This is not DFS related, so I apologize, but I just will note to Hoop's point, when stuff like that gets so stupid, there's even dumber shit that gets in your algorithm, because now it's like some old man with a beard hovered in front of his screen. He's like, this is pre-programming, man. 6-7. Just wait for June 7th next year. Something deadly's going to happen.
Oh, geez,
like, oh, for God's sakes. Like, what is going on? It's like everything is about it now. So it's like people latch onto it. I can't imagine. It's just wild. I love what we do. We get to talk about sports. Thank you, everybody that supports this. So I don't have to somehow go to my lowest of lows and stoop down to hide in a dark room with a screen behind me talking about pre-programming of a number or whatever. But thank you for that. I do appreciate it. Hoop, let's talk about this game. What are you seeing here, man? It's just going to be the blowout that it is. Do you see any different angles for DFS when we get there? And then we'll let you start with your captain thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough slate. I guess the one thing that is, good about this slate is what the competition's doing. It's going to be Patriots, very heavy. It's going to be the 5-1 stuff. It's going to be the 4-2 stuff. All the plays on the Patriots side that people are going to, the quarterback, the running back who's going to get all the work, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry. So, those are going to be the main plays on the slate for captain and for flex. It's just a matter of how you want to play this one out, because it could be a variety of different ways. I do think, like you guys kind of alluded to, when you see these slates where defenses have been on the winner and then you get a 13.5 point favorite, like Patriots defense is going to be higher owned than we're expecting, and it's going to be higher owned in the captain. People are going to be all over this play, and for me, obviously, it's a spot I want to most likely avoid. But the big question is, what do you do on the Jets side? Do you just embrace it and say, I'm going in on this as well? I'm going Patriots heavy, and limited Jets, or do you kind of try to flip it a little bit and look at Justin Fields and Breece Halls? And I mean, the one problem with this slate is it's like they have 7 different wide receivers that are projected to get some sort of fantasy points. I'm counting 1, 2, I'm including tight ends 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 9 guys that are projected to get some sort of fantasy points in the pass catching room with wide receiver and tight ends. And that makes it difficult to kind of pinpoint who you want in captain if you are trying to flip it a little bit. And if people are trying to flip it, who they're trying to flip it with. It's going to be Breece Hall and it's going to be Justin Fields. Now, most likely it's probably, a Patriot guy up top. So it just comes down to what you want to do. I'll probably just embrace that and even avoid the Breece Halls, who Breece Hall is going to get some ownership up top. He's probably the one that gets the most. I would guess probably 10, 12. What are we showing? I don't have it up right now, but I will pull it up to see what we're showing his ownership. 9. So I don't know. I'll probably just embrace the Patriot side. Hope it's one of their guys, probably one of their main guys, and just kind of play it like that. But it is a difficult slate to start to make the case. Now we've seen a lot of ugly outcomes recently. So do people embrace it a little bit more tonight? It's very possible. But I'll probably just embrace the Patriot stuff. Hope it's someone on that side, and I'll have more combinations.
What about this thought too? You just called this last week, Hoop. Judkins, lockdown mode, got to play Judkins against the Jets, automatic almost. They're just going to stomp all over them. Judkins props, etc., etc., etc. Henderson was phenomenal last week. Anytime he's got to shine, he's actually been great. But it's almost like a product of the slate tonight. They're a blowout spot at home. It's the classic play the running back in this spot. Should be good. He did get there on 2 huge runs last week, and one of them late in the game and all this. I'm not saying he can't. Again, he's obviously in a prime spot. Look at the stone. He's phenomenal. I get it. I'm just saying, is there any thought you flipped it like you did last time and it just is Breece Hall? It's no Garrett Wilson. He ends up being the wide receiver 1. Nade's just talked about it in the disc or in the YouTube chat. I think that's a good call out. Is there anything that you just see where that could be the case? Obviously,
I think last week was just a little bit different. The main slate stuff, and it's 2 shitty teams. Like the Browns were terrible, the Jets are terrible. This situation, Patriots appear to be good, and the Jets appear to be pretty shitty. So I suppose you could. You could definitely make this. The reason I made the case against Judkins because I just don't think he's very good. Even the week that I said to play him and he went off, and it was like because of 3 touchdowns, he's still getting it was 2.8 yards a carry. Like he wasn't doing anything. I just don't think the Judkins guy is very good, and people are loving him. So that's kind of why I made that call. But I suppose you could kind of flip it here, but it's a little more difficult with Showdown because both guys are going to be highly owned regardless. So if you do make that flip, you're not making a massive move against ownership or anything. Both guys are going to be up there. Henderson more. I suppose.
Those are good points. I guess I was saying my flip would be, just in if it's a standalone or something. Again, I'm going to have a portfolio of lineups. So I'll talk on that in a bit. But I'm saying I wouldn't mind Breece Hall in the captain, and then use Henderson in the flex. Instead, a lot will have it flipped the other way because there is so many value pieces that the automatic is going to be just why not just put the running back at home in the best spot. But Drake May can take touchdowns from him. Diggs, Hollins, Douglas, Henry. We just saw Kyle Williams last week. There's a ton of guys that can take away from his upside, and maybe you don't need full-on upside the way the game plays out or whatever. But Title, I'll kick it over to you, man. Get your additional thoughts, and then you can go into some captains and whatnot up top.
Yeah, I don't see any hot takes. I have a captain. I'm going to play Travion and Drake May and a lot of them at captain. Again, there was so many Jets wide receivers in the flex and all at pretty moderate ownership. Even the Patriots wide receiver room, there's by no means is that condensed. Diggs, Hollins, Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, all 4 of them will definitely be in the mix. So I just think there's enough ways to get different in the flex where I can play my favorite captains, which are clearly Drake May, Travion. When I'm not playing them, I will have some Fields and Breece. Looking at Fields ownership, 7% captain, it has been bad. There's zero doubt about that. But the ability for one play, we saw it in the Dolphins-Jets game. I don't know if it was week 5 on Monday, the 2-game slate. I don't know why I remember this. Well, I do. I think I lost money. I played another quarterback. But he had 2 points at halftime. And then he has 1 50-yard scamper on 4th down for a rushing touchdown. And right there, he just got 11 points? And then in garbage time, he's done it multiple times this year. So there's definitely worry he gets benched if it just gets completely out of hand and it's Tyrod. If so be it, if that's the case. I will definitely have some at captain. I prefer him to Breece Hall if choosing at captain, just because I think they're going to be down a lot and having to chuck the ball. Breece is fine. He can still catch passes. He has the 2nd highest reception prop for the Jets, and that is behind Mason Taylor. And Mason Taylor is the one other one I think I'm going to play a little bit for the sense of he's so cheap, it gets you on a different build. No one's going to want to play really any Jet in the captain, even Breece and Justin Fields. But for sure, outside of those 2, he leads this game or second highest reception prop on the slate on this game behind Diggs. He's 4.5, which Diggs is also 4.5. The next highest is 3.5. He's a security blanket. If you look on the stone, the Pats haven't been great against the pass either. If they have to throw the ball a bunch, he is field safety blanket in the middle of the field. You can see 7 or 8 catches or something. I'm fine playing a little Mason Taylor, showing very little ownership at the captain position. Salary's cheap, gets you on a different build that way. Other than that, I don't know. Like Diggs is expensive. I think Matt Collins maybe would be fine as a cheapie, but I'm just worried they get up by so much and there's so many other receivers that they just spread it around enough. So, yeah, I guess if I had to have a hot take captain, I think Mason Taylor is a little interesting.
Yeah, I was just trying to see here quickly from last week because we talked about that spot. I think Fannin and Njoku. So I'm just going to the thought was you had Mason Taylor there, and I'm going back. So everybody loved Henry last week. He was the value cheap tight end, the 2 tight end lineups we talked about earlier, just like people are going to do with the double D tonight and the 5. Shout out to our boy Double D. I don't know. We still don't know where this man is at, and the double Ds have been coming through like crazy. So got to bring that up quick, but. Yeah, Fannin and Njoku went 6 for 65 and a touchdown against the Jets. And that's kind of, again, obviously Judkins wasn't the guy that got there. So I'm just thinking about that. I think the Taylor and Henry spots up top do flip the build, allow you to not have to figure out that other stuff as much. Henry would definitely hurt the more popular guys like Diggs, Henderson, trying to figure out the rest on New England. So I like the tight ends up top. One thing I'll say, Hoop, and then I'll go to you for the other thoughts there, and you can take us through quarterback, etc. I am interested to hear your takes on the Fields Tyrod stuff, but it's not because of the Fields worry tonight and the props and the Tyrod stuff. I will just say, and everyone has their own opinion on this. They can say whatever they want. I play a ton of volume, but I'll tell you what I'm doing on a certain slate and if I love it or not. Well, I think this is a slate with a huge opportunity for a unique shipper. It's not my favorite slate. And I'm going to be adjusting my volume in a different way than you might think, not just like scaling back, but I think I'm going to play a little more the $33, the $100 single entry, maybe the $444 even. Like I'm going to try and I think if you got it or you don't. And I think tonight, if you had 150 lineups or you had 1,000 lineups, I feel like you got it or you don't. And so if I'm going to think like that, I might try and get away with a little bit more and play something like a 444 instead of throwing an extra X amount of lineups into the $20 or something and still play volume, but do it that way. Because when we get to wide receiver, it's insane. I feel strongly about some of the builds I've found already, just leading into pre-show and looking at things while we wait to get up to lock before I finalize. So I don't know, Hoop, if you ever have any takes on that, but I'm not one that's scared to say taking slates off or days off. I'm playing today, probably a lot more volume than most. It's not a brag. It's just saying I'm in the game still, but I don't feel as strongly about trying to figure out this roulette wheel as I usually do. It's the big total, the big spread, all these factors. I'm going to play, but it's it's going to be playing higher stakes where smaller fields that I can try and get after it that way.
Yeah, always good to, not do the same thing every single slate. I mean, I've seen a lot of people get into big trouble at the high stakes level, just playing the exact same stuff, day in, day out, week in, week out. So it's always important to evaluate and see what fits your style of play best. So I do agree with that. And I do struggle with it today because it's like, man, I don't want to play a lot of these guys. And, I don't know, when I go build, maybe it's like I just play Drake May and Travion Henderson and hope it's one of those guys. And I have more combinations with those guys up top. Like I could do something like that because I don't feel strongly about a lot of these dudes. Like, Hunter Henry would probably be like my third guy up top. And then on the Jet side, I do struggle, but I don't mind that Mason Taylor call. I mean, cheap, can get a lot of pieces with him. He's going to be low owned up top. I just feel like people are by default going to play like Breece Hall up there. And I think his ownership comes up higher than what we're showing. Like people are going to obviously want Drake May. People are going to want Henderson. But I just feel after those two, it has to be Breece Hall. That is the number 3 click. We're showing 10%. Other spots are showing around 10. I wouldn't be surprised if Breece Hall got up to like 15-ish or something. Could be
I'd
wrong.
be surprised.
Would you? Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
13
could be aggressive.
Dog as a running back.
Like,
I feel like
the ownership has been bad, though. I mean, it's tricky, I should say. But if you look at last slate, what did we say about Barkley? The guy gets up to almost 20% in some places. It's like
people are going to look at it and say, like, they're going to want him over Diggs. They're going to want him. Like, he's definitely the third guy that people play up there. So it's just, I guess, a matter of how much Drake, May, and Henderson they play. Like, do they just go super heavy? And that's what ownership is showing, and probably is true, but I still think there's enough for Breece Hall to get up there. Maybe it's not 15, but could be 12, 13, somewhere in that range. And I just don't think I love the play. I'm fine with it. I just don't love it.
Yeah, I think Pats get up there too. Someone said, even Steven brings this up. I mean, yeah, but you're hoping that you see what you can see out of a guy like Breece Hall. And when they don't have Garrett Wilson and they're trying to figure stuff out, sometimes it is just the pass catching that he gets. And the scoring on DraftKings, at least, really leans into that quite heavily. So it's that reason. Our man Sean says people love playing Hall, though. Everyone thinks he will get these dump offs and stuff. Like Hoop said, it's really a product of May, Henderson, and even Diggs, and I would put Patriots in there because Henry will get some, sure. And maybe as people want these more balanced builds, they lead into that. So it could be some to him as well. But I don't disagree with you, Hoop. And I think you could see Patriots, Henry, and Hall all come up a little bit based off of those factors.
Another thing, it's like Breece Hall had one catch last week, just one. And, I know people think that he can have all these receptions, and maybe he can. But he had one catch, and obviously it was a big one because he took it for 40 yards for the touchdown. But this Jets offense is bad.
I'm treating it like wide receiver 1 and Mason Taylor wide receiver 2. So I like Tyler Johnson. We'll talk when we get there. You can make a case. People are Lazard lovers. Oh, Adonai Mitchell, they're going to finally mix him in. They traded for him. Now this will be the week that they need him, so they're going to use him. And you mentioned Arian Smith and Isaiah Williams. There's literally every dude. Like, no one knows shit. You can read all the stuff, the beat writers, all that stuff. You're just running it. It's a roulette wheel. In Showdown, it's 3,400 down to, 1,200 just on that wide receiver room on 4 or 5 guys. So you can just spin it and don't put 50K. You probably could put 50K because some of them might be low owned. So it doesn't even matter. But yeah, you can play wherever those guys you want. Just leave the difference and just hope to hit it. But Title, do you got anything else to add at the quarterback stuff or anything else you want to add up top at all?
Not really. I could definitely see Drake May and Travion both coming in higher than pretty much anyone in the industry has projected, for the fact of if people are only playing a handful of teams, those are by far the most comfortable clicks, and I think that's where people gravitate to.
Agreed. Yeah, especially like you said, the hand builders out there. It's like pretty obvious. Okay, Henderson, Pats D. Now what else? Like they're just gonna just start like that, and I get it, but it's gonna make it even more popular. To your point, so I think we had some good calls there at the captain spot of how we could see the slate actually playing out versus getting different and finding ways that you can use it to your advantage. I will say one that I didn't mention, but I'll add just because, is Andy Borregales. If somehow you get a little division action, you get a little, late games, the before the half stuff, these kickers can come through. If everyone's going to be all in on the double D, maybe we go back to the double K. You go to the double kickers with Nick Folk and Borregales, or however the heck you say this guy's name. But I think those two are at least somewhat interesting. Borregales, I would use in the captain just because it's like Hunter Henry price, way lower ownership at anything across the board. And it's kind of builds you the same way, and you just hope that that's a possibility. So that's another one I'll bring up and say. But Title, do you want to move into the running backs, or did you have anything more to add on quarterback?
No, nothing at a quarterback. And I'm glad, actually, I always do a pre-build right now when I wait for inactives. We do have some stuff I'm waiting on there, but the Borregales, I got a little in my initial captain stuff, and I wasn't sure what to do. So I'm going to keep him in if I get it later, thanks to that talk. And it makes sense. I mean, 12 could be enough up top. And if this game really gets out of hand, who knows what the fourth quarter is going to look like on both sides of the ball. Like I said, Tyrod could be in. It's already a rotation with the Jets receivers. I mean, if Terrell Jennings is playing, if he's not, Dearness Johnson, it could get a mess in the fourth quarter. So 12, 13 at that price up top could be enough. Good segue into running back for were you going to say something? Go ahead. You
said a line, every time you do, I try and think of it, and it was good. Actually, you said 12 could be enough. And I know a lot of people out there would say, what do you mean? They're going to score almost 30 points. You think 12 is going to be enough? But there's another added factor to that, is that because of this roulette situation on both sides and all those options, there really is a chance these guys spread it out quite a bit, and you see a lot of 9s and 8.5s and 10s, or you do see a 15, but it's from the 16K captain, 15-9 Henderson. He gets the 16. Well, the 12 from the $7,500 kicker might flip the build so that you can still get the big points from Henderson and the other points that are actually required from both sides versus the punts that may or may not end up getting there. So just little things like that I want to think of. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, and you could take us right into running back.
Yeah, so running back. I mean, the Jet stuff is kind of easy in the sense that, yes, Brees is fine. There's nothing wrong about playing him, but I definitely like Isaiah Davis at 4,200 because he's 9% owned, and if this game is a blowout in the fourth quarter, like, why would Brees be out there? Isaiah Davis is an RB2. You can catch checkdowns. All the Jets receivers are cheaper. He actually has somewhat of a price at 4,200, which is why he's projecting at 9%. But yeah, I mean, like a guy that could play all fourth quarter, still get in the mix a little bit as running back 2 throughout the game. Very low own. If he falls in the box, he's there. I just see enough pass where a sub 10% guy can have a actual role early in the game, and then late game could be the only guy. So I think Isaiah Davis is one of my favorite plays on the slate. Patriots stuff's a little more difficult. I do want Jennings news for inactives. He he started last game, and he actually got the first snap over Henderson and got hurt a couple plays into the game, which again is worth noting. Of like, Travion pretty much had to take over that backfield last week because Jennings got hurt. There was already no Stevenson. Vrabel they haven't wanted to do that all year with Henderson, fully unleash him, and they were almost forced to, and he did play well. But if Terrell Jennings is playing, like, he has a 24.5 rushing prop right now on DraftKings. I mean, that's a real prop. That means he's actually going to be in the game. So I'd be fine with him. And if he's out, then it's Dearness Johnson who gets the backup running back at 2,400. Again, I just would be fine playing it because I think Patriots up 24 in the fourth quarter is in play. And if that's the case, I think we see random guys get in, and then you could see a random winner up top. Solo ship's very much in play if this game gets out of hand because random guys will be in. So I will be building more like that. So I'm good with Dearness if Jennings is out. I'm good with Jennings if he is in. And then, yeah, I'm playing a decent bit of Isaiah Davis.
Yeah, I like the Davis call. And I mean, I think Johnson got a carry or two last week too, if I recall correctly. People are like, oh, of course, we're going to see Johnson next week be their guy. And you know, people have talked about it a ton, but the Henderson stuff, they weren't really in love with them until they had to be. And maybe tonight's the night they have to be because of that other stuff. So I get that. But yeah, there's other ways you could go and get unique or get different. And if he gets held to 15 or 16 at the 15.9 price tag up top, that's where you could see some other stuff come into play. Now in flex, totally different story. That's kind of what we moved on to. So get that fully. Hoop, anything you want to add at these running back rooms? And then you could take us into wide receiver after you're done with that as well.
Pretty similar to what you guys were kind of saying at running back. I mean, I guess the one thing for me is I'm just not thrilled with Breece Hall. Like, if you're doing 150 teams, like, you'll have to include him in the pool. But like, if I was hand building, like, I'd be fine like not playing Breece Hall. Like, if I was doing three entries, I'd be fine not playing Breece Hall. So Breece Hall is honestly when you factor in price, my least favorite. And that's saying a lot because usually I don't like the backup running backs, but I do like them here tonight. I definitely am good with Isaiah Davis at 4,200. And then if Jennings is out, which a lot of sites are projecting him to be out, I'm fine playing Dearness Johnson at 2,400. I mean, that Jennings guy, like, they did not want to give all the work to Henderson. Like, that was very clear in that game. Jennings got goal line carries. I'm not saying that'll be the role for Dearness Johnson, but at 2,400, it doesn't need to be his role. Like, this is definitely a slate where eight fantasy points at 2,400 could be enough. So I'm definitely more in on the backup running backs than I've been, most of the season. I think it's a really good spot for Davis and whoever it is on the Patriots. If Jennings is in, I have interest. If he's out, I definitely have interest in Johnson.
Yeah, agreed. I think that's a good breakdown of what do you got at the wide receiver position. I just want to note quickly before you get into it, we have the 555 ticket giveaway coming up for the 199 package. For those of you that missed it, and this will be updated, but just to note, if you still want to get in at Ship It Nation, you can get this. The only thing that was the offer that ended on November 10th was the 555 ticket giveaway. You could still get the rest of the entire season, including the playoffs, including Super Bowl, including college football, if legal in your state, and be able to get in for $199 with SaberSim and full Ship It Games entry. So keep that in mind. I think that's kind of the biggest thing, but we will be giving away the 555 ticket for that. And then we do have the head-to-head. I think you won again last week, right, Hoop? You got another one under the belt?
Kept the ball, kept it rolling.
So what's that, 8-2?
8-2.
8-2.
Yeah.
So somebody will have to take you on there. I got the winner. We drew the winner, so we got that one up. And then we will have after that the number 34 Golden Shipments. So we're getting low on Golden Shipments, but we're getting through it. It's crazy. It's already week 11. Hoop, we'll go back to you. Wide receiver, both rooms loaded. I've already talked a ton about the Jets side where it's literally $1,200 or $1,000 up to $3,400. You don't really get anybody there. And then on the Patriots side, of course, there's Stephon Diggs, but people know that Hollins, Douglas, Williams, etc., have all been in the mix. So your thoughts at wide receiver?
Yeah, it's definitely tough. I mean, it's definitely a tough situation to analyze because, I mean, all year with the Patriots, we talk about on the main slate all the time. It's like, man, I love Drake May today, but who do I pair him with? Right? We've had that conversation just about every single week, and it's remained true. Like, he'll throw it to anyone, and he's been successful. It makes it tough for fantasy purposes, but there's 4 guys today. I mean, Diggs, if you want to spend. Mac Hollins has been very involved, which is kind of wild. I mean, you look at his work, it's 10 targets last week. He had 7 2 weeks ago. Like, Mac Hollins is, probably wide receiver 2.
The Bills wide receiver 2. I know they're kicking themselves right now for getting rid of him.
Man, yeah, that team, Bills, man, that is a mess. And then if like Kincaid can't play, like, it's gonna get ugly there in a hurry. Demario Douglas, 6,200, big play upside, perfect for showdown. And then they talked last week about getting Kyle Williams involved. What do? They get him on a little slant and he takes it to the house. So he's 2,000. So I think all those guys are in play, especially if you're playing Drake May captain, which a lot of people are because he's projected to be the highest owned captain. Like, you have to include all these guys in your player pool. And I think they're all solid plays to some degree. I mean, all of them really. The one that I guess maybe might have a chance to get squeezed a little bit would be Douglas. I mean, people just view him as a one play, one trick pony sort of guy, but he's been heavily involved. And, he's more expensive than Mac Hollins. Mac Hollins has the higher projection. So, like, Douglas is one I think that could be a key play tonight that a lot of people, they're not going to overlook, but he's just probably going to be lower owned than those other options. And then you look at the Jets, and like I talked about, they're going to throw the ball to potentially like 8 different dudes tonight. Tyler Johnson, Isaiah Williams, Donnie Mitchell's now there, Arian Smith, Alan Lazard, John Mechie. I don't know. Like, I have zero read. I have no clue what the hell they're going to do. Like, if I came on here and told you it's going to be this guy or that guy, I'd just be lying to you. So I'm not even going to attempt to kind of break it down. I do prefer, we're not at tight ends yet, but Mason Taylor would by far be my favorite pass catcher for the Jets over all these wide receivers. It's a very random, high variance situation, and I don't have the answers, so I'll leave it there.
Yeah, I do like the I like it all, but I'm in one of the calls for sure that I think that could make sense from a process perspective. We talk a lot more about the how than the who, even though it involves the who, is the Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas. It's $400. So again, if you got the stone at Shipment Nation, I think you're in good shape. This is where I always use this to my advantage. This is what I'm going to be trying to use tonight. Like I said, playing some of this higher dollar, smaller field stuff is looking at exactly that. Hollins been very involved. Can he beat him? Absolutely. Again, we could see it. But Douglas, it's not like Douglas wasn't involved. Douglas was eating the work of Diggs previous weeks and hurting the Booty. I mean, Booty had his good weeks, but there was other weeks where it was like, oh, it's Pop Douglas got me. How could it not be? It's a showdown slate. It's definitely possible. He looks right now like double the ownership, but using the stone, I can see the optimal percentage, the leverage, the price differences, the ownership differences. I can see it all in one spot. And that's interesting when you're looking through it and trying to figure it out. Like Hoop said, you'll see Drake May up top a lot. Maybe you try with those guys up top if it makes a different build for you or something you like that's a little bit different. So I think it's interesting just to look at that stuff. And I thought that was a really good call out. Agree with you 100% on the Jets side. Title, I don't know if you've got a extra Jets take there. I think the Isaiah Davis at running back was a really good call out. Dearness Johnson was good. Anything on that Jets wide receiver side, and then take us back to the Patriots.
I'll try with the Jets receiver. So the big thing I'm going to be on the lookout for is Alan Lazard. He was inactive last week. The reason, he's just an old dusty ass vet. Like they know what they got in Allen Lazard. They're getting Mechie, Adonai Mitchell, like these rookie, like these young guys. They think they just want to try and see what they have at the wide receiver room, and they know what they have with Lazard. So I'm hoping he's inactive. If he's active, it only muddies it up more. Tyler Johnson looks like the clear, and again, I'm not including Mason Taylor in this. Mason Taylor is better than all these guys, but just the receiving room. Tyler Johnson is wide receiver 1, according to props, according to snap counts, 23.5 yards. Then after that, it has been recently Arian Smith. Last week, it was Tyler Johnson and Smith that led the receiving room in snaps. Take that for what it's worth. I mean, his props 12.5, Davis is 13.5, Mitchell is 16.5. The problem there's not a problem. Donnie Mitchell got traded here 2 weeks ago or last week. He didn't know the playbook, so he didn't play. Now it's a short week on Thursday. So there's definitely variance within that. But if he knows these plays, like he's by far the most talented Jets wide receiver, in my opinion. I don't even think it's close. And they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. So seeing a 16.5 prop and it above Davis and Smith by a little bit. And again, Davis I know is a running back, but still, like I'm just going to go, I guess, Johnson 1, Mitchell 2. And then, Smith, Mechie, I think I'm putting them above Isaiah Williams, but then I'm guessing. So I feel good. Tyler Johnson's 1. Adonai Mitchell, I'm going to say, is 2. And then I don't feel good about Smith. I'll say Smith and Mechie are 3A, 3B, and I don't feel good about it. But I'm going to be playing these guys just because they're cheap. I think they're going to be trailing. I think they're going to have to throw the ball, and they're all low owned because people don't want to guess which one. And that's why I'm playing a lot of lineups. My lineups can tell a story. Patriots stuff, I'm a little different on the Pop Douglas situation just because last week they came out Sunday morning saying they wanted to get Kyle Williams involved, and he outsnapped them almost 3-1. Pop Douglas was the opposite of the beneficiary. He got hurt the most from the Kyle Williams snaps. So he always has that big play upside. So showdown, something like the perfect showdown play. Yeah, he can catch a 70-yard bomb. If he's not doing that, though, I think he probably should have almost a lower median floor or projection than Kyle Williams, which is not the case in any spot I'm really looking at. So I'm bumping Kyle Williams. I'm bumping Douglas down. Kyle Williams at 2K is one of my favorite plays on the slate. He will be owned, but it's a lot easier to leave money when you play him. He's just good at football too. Matt Collins, 58. I'm in on him. Like he looks great. And the big thing is no Austin Hooper, kind of a big thing, but no Austin Hooper for the Pats. That kind of like they like to run some 12 personnel for blocking stuff. Matt Collins is clearly the best blocker on the Patriots that they have. So you could see a little more snaps there. And again, I mean, he's been reliable for Drake May. So Diggs is a big boy price. I'll get some, but Williams and Matt Collins are my favorite 2 at the receiver room.
Trying to go back because, our man Stats looking up some stats himself and going through it. I mean, the problem is you don't see a lot of games for how it plays out. Like that matters more. Like, okay, he threw in the close games when they're just running the ball all game, when it's 13-10 or whatever the score is, he's not going to throw it a bunch. Now in the back and forth game with Cincy, he threw it a ton, but I was going back week 5. The Jets lost to the Cowboys 37-22. Fields threw the ball 46 times. He did take 5 sacks, but he threw the ball 46 times. And that game was 23-3 at the half. It was 30-3 or 30-6 after the third. And then they put up all their points in the fourth. They got 16 points there. So I guess like how you see it playing out, but the game says that the Patriots are going to go way up. I don't think that's a surprise though. And I don't even think it's a secret. Like, why would the Jets not originally just try and run the ball with Breece Hall? It's just, it doesn't work well because teams can't run on the Patriots, but also they're not great at throwing the ball and the room is a disaster. But I think once they go down enough, that's when you're going to see that he's going to have to. So I don't know. I think a lot of people have the 5-1s. Maybe you can do some 4-2s with the Patriots and you can figure out who those pass catchers are that pick up those receptions. I guess, Hoop, going to you for tight ends and moving it on. But man, I'm starting to think there could be, I know it's like, how do you even build a lineup at this point? But like, it could be no Justin Fields needed. It could be no Breece Hall needed. And it could really be potentially, I know this sounds probably crazy to most, but it could be no Henderson needed either. Like if it gets to Drake May through the air, we just talked about wide receiver rooms and we're about to talk about Hunter Henry. we're way more comfortable with Diggs, Hollins, Kyle Williams, Henry, et cetera, et cetera. Like that to me could get there. The kicker, the D, those could be the guys that get there if Hall and Breeze and Fields aren't getting there. So it could be like a 4-2 Pats or a 5-1 bunch of money, but it doesn't involve Fields, Hall, or Henderson. And those are big fades on this slate. You always talk about like just some of the little ones where you're like, I'm still putting up a 10% edge. Even take 2 of those out of the equation and say, well, I get you, but I'm not fading Henderson. Fine. But you're still taking some big boy ownership out of the game. So I'll let you take over, but I'm starting to think about it as I go throughout. That's kind of the thought process here.
Yeah, I mean, big time stuff for sure. I mean, if you build teams like that, and then if you fade those guys, you're leaving money on the salary on the table, big chunks of salary on the table. So you're automatically a little bit different that way. But in terms of tight ends, I mean, I love Hunter Henry. Probably, it is my favorite. It is a position where both these guys are my favorite pass catchers on the given team. Like Hunter Henry is my favorite pass catcher for the Patriots tonight. I like him flex. I like him captain. No Austin Hooper, multiple touchdown upside. I love him. And then Mason Taylor at 4K, favorite pass catcher for the Jets. You have Ruckert. You want to throw him in the mix of those cheap Jets guys that, no one really knows what the hell is going to happen. Like, that's fine doing that. But Hunter Henry, absolutely love at 54. I think he's a phenomenal play. And then Mason at 4K, favorite. It might be my favorite Jets player on the slate. And 4K is super, super cheap. So love both those guys. Phenomenal plays.
Man, it's like 6,900 on the table. Just
messing
around.
Could be one of those slates. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Could be, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's definitely a very legit possibility of that. Title, I'll kick it over to you, man. Anything you want to add? You mentioned the great call earlier when we were talking through captains with Mason Taylor up top, flipping the build. I think that's definitely a very likely scenario where we just see him get a bunch of checkdowns or whatever, like got to release the ball quick, get it out, get him some catches, rack him up. So, I mean, that makes a ton of sense. Hoop mentioned the backup there, Jeremy Ruckert. You've got Hunter Henry with no Austin Hooper, which is always a nice thing because Hooper, you see, they kind of look very close to the same. You're like, oh, there's my guy Henry. And you got
dude, I can't tell you how many times that happened. I cannot tell you. They do look the same and they have similar numbers.
Everything. I think it's one number off. Like, it's always like, oh, shit, my guy Henry. Nope, Austin Hooper. So I mean, at least makes that part easier a little bit.
I thought it was just me.
No, it's same over here too. Even Khalif Raymond, when he wants to be wannabe Amon-Ra with his sleeves over there, I get that confused in the slot too.
Amon-Ra. That's so good. Yeah, definitely agree.
Yeah, tight. I don't really have too much more to add. I just think the point when you mentioned at the end, like 6,300, I think you were talking about like salary left or something. If you go from Diggs at 9.8 to Hunter Henry at 5.4, I mean, you're looking right there at $4,400. I think it easily could be Hunter Henry over Diggs. If you want to take it a step further, Diggs all the way down to Mason Taylor, and you're looking at 5,800. Is it likely? No, but when you win, how much do you win? I promise, or it's almost a solo shipper. I'm not going to promise anything. There's a lot of crazy lineups, but
you're getting. I'll play more.
You're getting off a lot of dupes if you're doing something like that, and there's plenty of ways to get different. That'd be in like I'm eating all the chalk in a 5-1 Patriots build, and that's the one thing I'm getting different. But I think Mason Taylor and Hunter Henry are two of the best plays on the slate. They're up there when we're talking point per dollar. I mean, there's no Hooper. Like, Henry doesn't have any competition. Mason Taylor, they should be throwing a lot. He's in the middle, and I don't mind Ruckert for cheap, like Hoop said. I don't love it, though. That's for sure.
Man, this is definitely interesting because, like a lot of these builds, it's so crazy, but you can just be like 5,400 on the table, and it still projects great because the projection's so similar on these cheap guys that it's like, man, it's not even that far off. So, I just think it's a really interesting slate from that perspective. But again, when you're talking Hall, Davis, Henderson, Johnson, okay, there's the running back room. And the wide receiver's not going to repeat them all. There's literally a million on both sides. And it's Taylor, Ruckert, Henry, the defenses, the kickers, either or, both. Who knows? Like, that's where it gets a bit much on what's already a heavy favorite slate, 5-1 potential, things like that. So I don't know. It's interesting from that perspective. I always like playing for the non-duped lineups. And so we'll see how it goes. But I really do feel like this slate, you got it or you don't. And I'm willing to take that up a few levels and see if I can do it that way instead and maybe get away with one or find, one that you don't need. Because I think the 444 won't need the, I say it's opposite of this usually in Showdown Hoop where it's like you need the optimal in everything, but not on a slate like this. I think it's totally different. I think in like the 444 could have 8 to 10 points less than the $20 where people will have a litany of options of across the board of all these different things where it's just not always the case in the bigger stakes. So anything else, Hoop, you want to add? Kickers and Ds, anything else that you want to bring on?
Yeah, definitely like the Patriots. What was it? Burrell? How do you pronounce his name?
I said Borregales.
Sounded good.
Borregales. Yeah, that looks. I think you're right on there. I just picked him up in my season long league today, and he'll be my kicker tonight. So hopefully he makes a lot of field goals. First place, 9-1, first place.
Right.
What is the stakes on your season long league?
So Title knows it's my brother-in-law and all his friends. It was a $200 buy-in league, and they like begged me to get in. I'm like, no, I have zero interest. I'm doing all these best balls. Like, no, come on, get in. Now, of course, it's these guys, they've been playing for years and they're all pissed off. Like, you let your brother-in-law in this league that runs a fantasy site, blah. Like, they are so pissed. So I had a 9th pick. I picked Puka. All right. Came back around. I think I got Bowers. And then my 3rd pick was JSN. So I have Puka and JSN. So nothing else matters after that. Like, it doesn't, like nothing matters. And I happened to get, let's see, I'll run you through the squad. I got Devonta Smith, who's had some massive weeks. Garrett Wilson had some big weeks. ETN, I just picked up late. I didn't draft any running backs. Got him late. He's been fine. So it's really just Puka and JSM, but everyone's all pissed off.
How many teams? 10,
12. So 9 and 1, and they're not happy. There's like a group chat, and one of the guys went in there. It's like talking shit. I'm like, oh, this is the last thing I want for fucking $200.
So they were actually mad. Like, these guys are.
Yeah, they're like mad that they let me in the league. I literally didn't look at anything and just like randomly draft because it was a full PPR. Like, I'm just going to take a bunch of wide receivers. That's what I did.
The Devonta Smith birthday narrative this weekend. Make sure you get him in your season long squad.
I got him in there. Yeah, got him in the flex right now. So we're locked and loaded. I mean, I have no quarterback. I'm all on Jordan Love and Trevor Lawrence. Like, I have nothing there. Yeah, it's bad, but I'm in first place. Most points scored. It's been a fun ride. Back to Borregales or whatever we said his name is. Definitely good play. Patriots defense is going to be higher owned than we're showing. We're showing 25. It's definitely got to be like 33 range, I'd say. Maybe even higher. Like, people are going to love playing that defense. And then the Jets D and kicker, obviously risky.
Yep. Scooter, I brought this up earlier, man. Borregales, that's where we brought it up. Maybe. I mean, that's definitely a way to get a little bit different. I know a lot of people say the teams end up the same, but it's, they got to go with what Title said is if you do that, I'm not maxing out every salary and making sure of all that. You can look at different builds. Maybe that is some of them or fits in, but I think you're looking at more lineups that you can just leave something on the table and find out who that random play is on the other side, because that's just the way the game plays out. So hope it spreads out a little bit, build your lineup accordingly. Title, anything you want to add at kickers or Ds? I definitely do see that the Patriots kicker and D both look to be Patriots, and I said kicker and D, and his name's Andy Borregales. Together there, but the wordplay, the thing I'm seeing though is both of those are definitely getting jacked up versus the double defense that we've seen the majority of these last few slates where it keeps ramping up. Maybe people aren't as high on the Jets tonight.
Yeah, they definitely aren't. I do think, though, I mentioned a couple main slate shows, like Drake May, as talented as he is and it's good with his legs, he can turn the football over and take some sacks. So I prefer Jets D to Nick Folk, I think, for the sense of if this game does get out of hand and it's the 3rd, 4th quarter and they down so much. I mean, I don't know. I've seen that. I was going to say, like, why would they kick field goals? Like, you got to go for it. But I have seen the Jets literally punt at the most negative EV times and just throw games away. So I don't really know. They might even be playing for the first pick. So any logic you might even throw out the window. I like the Patriots stuff more than Jet stuff. Ownership reflects it. No hot take.
The Jets, I was just going to say the one thing you nailed it, because the Jets will literally be down 30-0 kicking field goals.
Yeah.
Just get a few points on the board. Division, we can't have any shutouts or anything like that be in our future whiteboard conversation. So let's make sure we get a few points on the board and they just throw up a field goal. So we could see that for sure. All right. We got a few giveaways, Hoop. So are you going to do the random for the 555 ticket?
Yeah. Let me just refresh. Make sure everyone is included. All right. Yeah, we're loaded up. Want to do that right now?
Yeah. Do you want to do one? Maybe we'll do the head-to-head first. Let's do the head-to-head
All right.
first.
Yep, that works. Yep.
We got to do some numbers for that game. So, Golden Ship It number 33, taking on Hoop's record of 8-2. The winner is, and this is an awesome one. I love this. It's all random, but this is the great part of Ship It Nation. This is a founding family day one member, and you'll know it as soon as you see the name. Congrats to Nick Muchmore. I think it's like Muchmore in the chat, in the Discord, but awesome dude, always in there posting, daily, man. This is awesome. This is what it's all about. We did this for the community. So happy to see when somebody who's been with us, supporting us since day one, gets drawn for something so cool. So Nick, you've been here since day one. You know everything there is to know about Hoopster. You get to take them on. You'll have to do much more than the others have in the past to get the job done and get past him. But 8-2 record, Hoopster. Any small talk from you on this one?
Oh yeah, I mean, hopefully he shows up to that the final when you get down to the top 50 and performs well, because he is not getting much more money out of this situation, because that 250 is not heading his way. I wish him luck. I wish him luck when it gets to the end, but he ain't getting much more than that.
and Nades is getting much more screen time with the banner, just because we got to do it every single show now for the bit. So don't forget about it.
I'll tell you one thing. I miss Nades, man. I had when Nades was here in Detroit for that long week. I had a good time with Nades. I missed him. I wanted him to come back and visit.
Oh, we got to get back, man. We got to see Nadir. We got to get back down.
Oh, I thought about Nades the other day. It was Tuesday. I had to run down to the casino because they do like.
I knew it was slots.
Yes, that's why I thought about him. So Nades will appreciate this. So it's a quick story. I know you want to stay on track here, Tambo, but it's a quick story. I went down Tuesday. Had to pick up. They did a little gift giveaway, and I had reward play, and I was going to get lunch. Mrs. Hoop worked Monday night. She was sleeping. I was like, I'm going to get this done. So I ran down. I shipped out our packages for everyone that had some gear to get. So got all that done. Went down to the casino, popped down at our machine. Me and Nades love the Huff and Puff game. So I sat down. I had like, I think 40 or 50 bucks in reward play, immediately get a bonus, win. I don't know. It was like 100. It was $100 on the bonus. And then 2 spins later, get a bonus again. I don't know. I think I won like 30. So I walked out of there, $130 on the reward play, all on the Huff and Puff game that myself and Nades enjoy playing. So I was thinking about Nades on Tuesday. I was like, man, I got to get Nades back down here, because that was a hell of a time. And our boy Nadir, he's always in the mix down there. So got to get another reunion here in Detroit.
Yeah, he said this man that last night that I was getting on and we missed the gift shop with the bonus reward points because of the Huff and Puff, and we stayed too late playing that and the FanDuel Sportsbook. I got the bonus though. This lady was so mad, man. Just, when the people in the slot room, they just grill you because they played that machine before.
Yeah.
And you get it, and you get the bonus. And it was only, I think it was $400 or something. Like, we were hoping it was going to be big boy score. I was getting the extra houses, like the shit you're supposed to to get to the next level. And she was getting more mad by the minute. It ended up being 400 or something. I was like, damn.
It is so good when people get tilted, they get off a machine, then you go on there and print. But on that machine, you have to, if you don't get the bonus, you're dead. Like, it's like you have to get the bonus, or in any slot machine, you're probably losing money. But like on that one, if you don't get the bonus, you're double dead.
Yeah. Who was talking about this?
Title's the new slot machine guy, though. He's got the EV tracking on specific slots. Like, he knows when they're going to hit.
I've been too lazy, but I was taught. I haven't hit any myself yet, but I was taught to find plus EV slots. Yeah, it's a fun world.
Slot EV, the new tool coming to Slot It Nation. Run it up in the casino streets. You guys can get excited. But this slate tonight, man, our man Kyle, go collect. He's hung out with us in Detroit before. He says this slate tonight is a slot machine. And then even Steven says, crazy, my hoodie just arrived right after you said shipped gear out.
Yeah, so, 2-day shipping to most of the continental United States. So most people should be getting it.
I wonder what username, because it's all for the winner's circle. Those that don't know, like with the SaberSim partnership, we have this now. So you can get in, you can win right up to including the Rolex watch. It's all partnered. The rules, everything are on the page. If you go to shipitnation.com, you click winner's circle, you can see it all there. We're starting to rack them up again. This has been a really good season. especially in NFL, but the NBA streets are dialed in nightly across everybody. The NHL streets, you name it. During the MLB playoffs, people were making money, but a lot of people taking advantage of getting their free months, right? Use the promo, see if you like Ship It Nation, get 5 days for $19, check it out. Then you can upgrade to one of these packages and get involved in the SaberSim side of things and get in the streets for this. So yeah, it's exciting stuff. Hoop, do you want to do the next draw and then we'll do the share ship at the end? Who's the 555 winner?
Yeah, so we're going to go into the transactions and select right here live. So let's see the best way to do this. Title, why don't you give me a number between 1 and 9?
7.
7, all right. And then Tambo, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Give me a number between 1 and 7. And hopefully it's not 1, because one of these names is going to be a tough pronunciation. I'm not going to tell you which number, and I know you're going to pick it.
Pick it.
I hope I pick it. I'm going to go with number 5.
Okay, that's not a tough one.
Tough name.
So the
So
winner,
guy that bought the package on the 9 pages with the extra name, you lost, and no one knows who that is.
yeah, number two is the difficult name to pronounce. Number 3 is I'd assume someone of Italian descent. Frank Piccioni.
Let's go. We pick
I like how you say
Piccioni to
that.
5th, and he wins the prize.
Piccioni.
So
Yeah.
get the job done. All right. Well, congrats to Frank. Frank, email us, or we'll email you actually, because we have the information. So Hoop, just take down the email for it, and then we'll send him an email and get him set up with the ticket. That's the 555 winner. Again, thanks to everybody that took advantage. If you guys want to get in, you could still do so. You just go to the site. The only thing that says offer ends November 10th. That was just for the 555 ticket draw. You could still get the rest of the season, Ship It Games entry, playoffs, Super Bowl, all the showdown slates, Thanksgiving, SaberSim, you name it, all that stuff across the board you can get. So check it out. Go to shipitnation.com. That is ready to go. And then the last thing for today, guys, we've got Golden Ship It number 34. The share ship this week is a 333. We cashed our first one last week. We got $900 in that one. So we got a little bit of a kitty we're working with now, and we added it to the page. It's up to $79,442 that we're giving away. So awesome to see that. The winner is, and I don't even have a one-liner for this one, but the winner is Shane Rauco. Don't know what we would put that with, but congrats to Shane Rauco. We'll get a hold of you in the Discord. Make sure you're all set up and good to go. But you are in the Ship It Games. You are in the share ship this week, and you will be in the finals, round 1, week 17 of the NFL regular season, where the top 10 will move on and play for the big money prizes, up to $20,000 currently for first place prize. You can still get in if you go over to shipitnation.com and join the nation for football or all access. Either of those plans that you get in on, you are into the Ship It Games draws for the remaining, what we now have, I think 15, because we got 35 is going to be given away based on whoever wins on Sunday. We've got that many weeks left. So 15 more golden shipments will exist after this week that you can hop in and play for. So share Ship and Shane. There you go. Our man Kyle, he's getting better at the one-liners too. So love to see that. Title, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here?
Even though it's a big spread, I think as we talk through it for DraftKings, there's so many options, a lot of cheapies, the complete opposite of last slate. It feels like where we had no value and a couple spends we wanted at captain. Pretty condensed captain, I think, mainly with May Henderson, but there is a whole bunch of value plays. And I think especially if you are hand building only a couple teams, really today tell yourself a script. Are the Patriots going to blow them out? Are the Jets going to keep it competitive? I think your lineup should look a little different, more so than on most slates, depending on if you do see that being the case. I think with the backup running backs, I think they have a lot more outs to play today in the fourth quarter, if that is the case. But good luck to everybody. And not only NFL and NBA and NHL, but college football. All these slates pretty much every single weekday, and a big boy MMA card this week. I'm pumped for it.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Definitely good there. And we'll have some news coming out next week as well. I think a lot of people are going to like. If you're watching this and you're not a member at Ship It Nation yet, I think that's going to be huge for things like that. So very excited on that front. And everybody that's in will already be in this weekend. Good week to use the 5 days for $19, though, just before I go to Hoop on the closeout, is because of that. You're going to get all access plus SaberSim for 5 days for less than $20. And you could play the showdown tonight, Sunday, Monday. You're going to get the main slate on Sunday. You're going to get college football weekend, NBA, NHL, whatever else you choose to add, and the big boy MMA slate on top of it. Plus, you're in the Discord. Plus, you get the education courses. Really, everything that you want to get better at DFS, it's all available for you there. So, Hoop, any final thoughts from you before we get out of here?
No, just good luck to everyone tonight. Let's start week 11 in a strong fashion. Let's get those logos to the top, and yeah, good luck to everyone.
Yeah, good luck, everybody. We appreciate you. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. For Title, for Hoop, and for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.